Sorry for the delay, everybody. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us for this Skillathon today. This is Sharana, and it's a pleasure to be your host for the next couple of hours. Thank you very much, Leena and Saptarish, for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you with us here as jury. To begin now, the Institute of Product Leadership proudly welcomes you all for the Skillathon in Product Design with the cohort of Product Management Certification Program. Our participants will present their innovative solutions, and our esteemed jury will evaluate them on key parameters. As Skillathons go, it promises to be an exciting evening filled with challenges and skill demonstrations. This is an event where the top shortlisted participants from the cohort present their hands-on projects and portfolio towards the assurance of skill to demonstrate. One is the problem understanding of customer persona. Two is the use of tools and presentation. And three is the design solution. So today's session is going to be exciting and will definitely have some great learning takeaways. The cohort will walk the talk of the IPL mantra, which is learning by doing. And the audience will not just witness it live, but also get to vote and choose the winner, which I'll get to in a bit. So let me begin the session by giving you an insight on what Skillathons are and why IPL emphasizes on Skillathons being the real test of skills. Skillathon is an event where the top performing learners demonstrate their understanding of a skill and application of the same in the context of a real world product idea as part of their learning journey to industry experts and other learners. At IPL, we replace examination with Skillathons and studying with learning by doing. The audience strongly believes that the real test of skills is by demonstrating your idea to a live audience and of course, the industry experts present here today. So the Product Management Certification Program is a globally recognized program with assurance of skills versus knowledge, which is focused on career transition or career acceleration with learning by doing. Thank you for going through that. Now it is time to introduce the juries for today's event. And today we have a prolific jury of from the leading industry practitioners. And we have with us Leena Jacob, who's Director UI UX Target. And we also have Saptarish, who's Assistant Vice President Design Swiggy. A very warm welcome, juries. Thank you for taking the time to join us today as jury for the Skillathon. So now coming to the guidelines, each team will have 10 minutes to present, followed by 5 minutes of feedback and Q&A by jury only. Jury will cast their votes on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being lowest and 5 being highest. The scores will be announced aloud by the jury. Once the presentation is done, the audience will please keep your phones ready to scan the QR code on the screen to cast your votes. So let's begin with the presentation for today. First, we have Team 1, which is Shamla Venkataramani. Shamla, you may start your presentation.
Okay.
All the best.
Yeah. Great, thank you. Just give me a second while I pull up my slides, please. It says sharing is not turned on. Request sent.
To increase the volume, you need to increase the volume. You have switched off.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. And see my screen as well?
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, hi, everyone. I'm Shamala, and I work at NVIDIA as a senior systems software engineer. I spend my days at NVIDIA ensuring that large-scale data centers keep their high-speed networking components running smoothly. I've spent my career, managing a lot of technical complexity, and at IPL, I am here to master a new kind of complexity, which is understanding more about business and human psychology. So today I'll be presenting a problem which plagues millions of users, busy professionals like you and me. You know, how we maintain our personal relationships when our schedules are running at hyperspeed. We've all been there. Remembered a friend's birthday at 11:45 p.m. And then sending a last minute gift that seems rushed. And it has basically I forgot written all over it. And such generic last minute gifts seem to be the norm for busy working professionals. And in India, especially, gifting is a very important component of how we maintain relationships. Uh, there are 20 plus major occasions a year in India, and yet the gifting experience remains very fragmented, broken, and rushed, and also quite impersonal. So, gifting has become more stressful rather than thoughtful today, and I'm here to change that. So, the question I explored was how might we make this whole gifting process to be more thoughtful, more timely, and more collaborative without adding too much effort. So meet this persona, Aditi. She's a 29-year-old working professional. She's a marketing manager. And she essentially represents a $5 billion market of an urban working professional. You know, she's social, she values relationships, but she's also strapped for time. She often forgets important events, important dates, and ends up buying a lot of last minute gifts. So her key need is to be more thoughtful in purchasing gifts without spending too much time or effort. I try to look at it with more an empathy map kind of a tool where I want to highlight that the problem is not really the intent, but the execution of it. So users do care about gifting, but they lack the time and the guidance to make the right choices. So the opportunity here is not essentially to add more options, but to reduce the friction and guide users to making the right choices faster. The fundamental gap, as I mentioned, between intent and execution is what led to this product. Fulfillment engines like Amazon and eBay, they are masterfully crafted for transactional logistics. They win when you already know exactly what you want to buy. But they completely ignore the emotional aspect or the emotional labor involved with gifting, and they leave users paralyzed by thousands of options and standard, individualistic checkouts. Today, I'm introducing a social gifting platform which is designed to eliminate that friction through automated reminders, personalized suggestions, and also a seamless group collaboration experience. My goal here wasn't just to build another e-commerce platform or a digital product catalog, but instead it was to design a social ecosystem around gifting, which essentially one that captures the intent or the emotional content intent of the user rather than transforming gifting into a chore uh, with a lot of last minute choices and seamless uh, you know the choices turning into seamless emotional touch points. So coming into the strategy itself, from a business perspective, my strategy was to turn friction into revenue. And the core focus is on group gifting. From initial research, what I identified was there are a few key user needs, which are that people want to give meaningful gifts and not generic ones. They forget important events and they struggle with decision fatigue when there are too many options. So, by focusing on group gifting, we aren't just selling a product at a higher revenue value, but every group gift essentially invites acquisition channels for new users who could then convert into customers. So this was the strategy I started with, and I prioritized the MVP not by what I could build, but rather what would drive conversion quickly. So reminders for events essentially act as the trigger, and there are AI recommendations which act as the enabler to reduce the time to purchase. So some core features include event tracking and reminders, personalized gift recommendations, wish lists, and group gifting. There are also secondary features like AI-based suggestions and occasion-based bundles, along with social sharing. So this is a typical user workflow. I designed this workflow around a simple user journey, starting with an event reminder, leading to a discovery, a selection of a gift, and a collaboration, followed by finally a purchase. So for example, a user gets reminded about an upcoming birthday. They explore personalized gift suggestions, select a gift, and optionally they could split it with friends or family, and then finally complete the purchase. This flow essentially ensures that the user moves from intention to action quickly without a lot of friction. Just calling out some wireframing that I did. There is a clear information hierarchy through these wireframes and reducing the cognitive load. I've also tried to make the key actions highly visible. The home screen prioritizes upcoming events and gift suggestions are immediately accessible. So with the group gifting flow, the challenge for me was how do you keep it simple when multiple people are involved? So I chose to use like a progressive disclosure pattern, which came up in our IPL program, which is asking for contributors only after the initial item selection. So this ensures that buyers are not overwhelmed by the initial logistics of having to collaborate with other people, but we lead with the who, which is the reminder for the event, and then we move to the what, which is the curation of the gifts itself, and then finally we do the how, which is the group collaboration. So the hierarchy ensures that the user never feels like they are doing a lot of work upfront. This is basically the UI of the product. It has a celebratory or an aesthetic appeal to it, and I've used warm and friendly colors, focusing on the emotional component, moving away from the cold industrial feel of standard e-commerce. Every interaction here is designed to make the giver feel as good as the receiver itself. So let me walk you through the home screen. Have a short
Shambhala, you
video.
have 3 more minutes to finish your presentation.
Yeah, thanks for that. So we start with the upcoming events in the home screen, and you can see how easily you can view the event and also choose between solo or group gifting. There is a choice of picking out different gifts based on the event. Here, Aditi picks out the jewelry set, and she decides to collaborate with Lalit as a contributor. She adds Lalit as a contributor, splits the cost between the two of them, and then essentially it's a complete purchase, like a typical checkout experience. So under a minute, she's able to go through the end-to-end workflow of uh, choosing a particular gift for a given event. I'll move on to some of the key assumptions and hypotheses that I made here. The solution is, of course, based on a few key assumptions that users prefer guided suggestions over endless browsing. That is one assumption. Uh, Group gifting could increase purchase value, another assumption, and reminders help to drive more action. So to validate this, we could run A/B tests, measure conversion rates and cart abandonment rates, track the time to purchase. So this ensures that the product evolves based on real behavior. So to conclude, what I'm solving for here is the social complexity of gifting, moving the needle from a transactional chore to a social celebration. And my biggest takeaway is that in a world of infinite choices, curation is ultimately the luxury that this product offers. So by combining reminders, personalization, and collaboration, we are making gifting to be more thoughtful, less stressful, and a lot more social. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing your feedback.
Hi, thank you, Shamla. I would like to have Lena introduce herself to the audience, please. Just a little bit more about yourself before we do the Q&A quickly.
Sure. Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Excited to be here. And I love that we dove right into the each of the respective projects. A bit about me. I have about a little over 20 years of experience now in product and UX, mostly with consumer-facing companies, consumer-facing products. Before Target, I was with Meesho, and before that, I won't get into all the companies, but yeah, like I said, it's mostly consumer-facing products. Did a bit of enterprise as well while I was at Intuit. Yeah, that's a bit about me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for being with us here today. Saptarshi, a little about yourself, please.
Sure. Thank you, folks. Hey, you can call me Sapta. I have a long name even for Indian standards. People often struggle to call my name out. Okay, folks, I'm Sapta. I head design at Swiggy, and I've been with the company for 8 years, and of course, a little more for the rest of my career. And one interesting thing about me is that I never studied design like the way you folks have probably done as a part of this course. I'm an engineer, electrical engineer, far, far away from what I'm doing as my profession today. So whatever I have done is self-taught. I learned from internet. I learned from the people. Yeah, that's about it.
Wow, that's quite a journey. Thank you so much. So now we'll have the Q&A. So this is quickly just to summarize. This is every participant does a 10-minute presentation, and then we do the Q&A, and then you give the score. So would you like to start, Lena?
Yep, sure. So curious, Shamla, thank you for your presentation, by the way. It's a project that, I mean, it's a topic that we often give to design candidates when we interview them sometimes. So this is like something that we always think about. One question I had was when you were before you even got into the details or like the flows, did you explore like what are like competitors or other major players in this space were doing to solve this problem?
Yeah, so in terms of like gifting itself, I think there's Ferns and Petals, which is quite a big player. But it has a lot of mixed reviews if you look at it. And I personally, when I looked up their website, I found it to be not so interactive and not so emotionally evocative. It's also, it appears like a very typical e-commerce platform. There are very few people that focus on the relational or the social layer of gifting itself. There's a lot of focus on obviously the business aspect of it, integrating with the either the logistics companies or the e-commerce platforms for increasing the revenue itself. But there is not a lot of emphasis on personalization. And one example one of the ideas that I had for this product was an AI integration, for example, where I was thinking that we could have an AI integration with all of our phone contacts. And this AI bot could basically ask the individual contacts what gifts they were looking for in their next important event. So this is something that would keep the surprise element without actually revealing who the person is and what gift they're essentially going to get. So there are not many players out there who actually deal with the social or the relational angle of gifting. I think it's more of an e-commerce based solution and not many solutions that focus on the especially in the Indian scenario, there's a lot of focus on the commerce aspect rather than the relational layer.
Okay. How many questions am I allowed to ask?
Depends on what you found in the presentation. So basically, our Q&A will be about 3 minutes together for both of you. Probably we can push it to 5. So maybe if you
Okay.
have another question, if Saptar doesn't have that already, you can go ahead and ask. Then
Maybe you can alternate, Sapta. Why don't you go
Okay.
next, and then maybe if we have time, I'll go next.
Sure. And
Sure,
if you
sure.
haven't already thought about it, then you can quickly.
No, that's okay. I have lots of questions, so I'll give
All
some.
right. Let's see what Saptar has then.
I too have
Go
lots
ahead.
of questions. Let me see how I can compress them into it.
Right.
So, Shamala, first of all, thank you for your presentation. What I'm trying to look for is you started your presentation with certain problems and then you proposed a solution. I'm trying to see how your solution kind of maps to the problems you have mentioned about. You said that there are reminders, but people forget. Your app also has a reminder. So, if people have been forgetting the reminders, what makes you feel that your reminders would not be missed? A, you kept mentioning about personalized gifts. What personalization have you done? I didn't really seen it on the design. There was, I think, Prerna's birthday or something, I don't remember. And then there was a generic list of things again. Like, does the tool know who Prerna is? How old he or she is? What does she like? Or I couldn't see any of those things out there. Then you also kept mentioning about collaborative gifting. When you said it, I assumed that no, it could be, say, me and Lena wants to gift you something. We would sit and discuss, hey, should we give this? Should we give that? And all of that. But what your solution showed was just about a bill split. There was no collaboration other than that. It could be simply that, I send a message to Lena, hey, I spent 6,000 rupees. Your share is 3,000. GPay it to me, right? So I was trying to, connect the dots between the problems you began with and the solutions you proposed. And I kind of failed to connect. So wanted to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Thanks for highlighting that. I think, first of all, thank you for so keenly observing my presentation and looking at the details. But you're right that I have not been able to implement a lot of the ideas that I actually started with in my MVP. But all the points that you raised are absolutely crucial for the first delivery of the product. So first of all, what I wanted to do was do a calendar integration, which is absolutely crucial for event reminders. So you're not going to be, maybe once you create this app, once you sign up for this app, you would go in and feed in all your contacts, important events onto the app, like a one-time thing. But it would be even better if we could have a Google Calendar or a different kind of calendar integration for the reminders. The other idea that I had was to create profiles for contacts and adding some descriptions about them. So this could sync with the phone contacts, and for each contact that you typically buy gifts for, you could have, coffee lover or techie or something like that attached to. So these are descriptions that you would add for your individual contacts and create profiles for them in the app so that it can be used for personalizing the gift suggestions itself. Another idea that I mentioned to Lena as well was the AI engine, which seeks inputs from contacts about their gift preferences. So this could itself be in multiple languages, so that you're catering to, let's say your distant aunt who probably only wants to hear about it in Hindi. And there are also, I wanted to add the option to have a story behind making of each of the gifts. So you can make it even more personalized, and that can be, for people who care about that, the story behind how gifts are made, that could also be an additive. And you're absolutely right in calling out that the group gifting part is only shown during the payment splitting and not during the gift selection itself. So these are all things I've thought about. So thank you for bringing that up, but I've not been able to had the chance to implement them in the first delivery for this product.
Got it. Thanks for your answer. I have another A or B versus question. Lena, can I shoot after that? You
Go
can
for it. Go for it.
Okay. Shamla, you mentioned about coffee lover, right? I could resonate because I am indeed a coffee lover. So say if you were to gift me, and I'm a coffee lover, that's something that you know. So whether it's my birthday, anniversary, work anniversary, whatever, like, would you always give me coffee related stuff, or do you think there's a difference? So the A or B answer is, do you think the gift should be occasion backward or should it be preference backward? That's my question.
I think there should be a bit of both. There should be a bit of, for someone who loves coffee, not to typecast them into only a coffee drinker and not have many other choices. And I think ultimately, I think it should be up to the person who's receiving the gift also. So if to my best friends, I would ask them what kind of gift would they like for me to buy for them. So I wouldn't want to ruin the surprise by asking you directly what kind of gift you would like, but I would definitely want to have some kind of an AI integration which kind of tracks your behaviors in how you buy things for yourself, and even asks you what kind of gift would you like for your next event. So I hope I answered that question. I think it's a bit of getting information from you as well as my own idea of what I think about you. So that I think both should be considered when I'm getting you a gift.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. Lena, all yours.
Do we have time for one more question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Sapta, thanks. You covered, I think, three of the other questions that I had, so I'll just skip to the other. So if you had more time, I realized that you had very little time to think about all this, but if you had more time, how would you sort of take this idea to the next level? So when you said you spoke to this a bit, you said that you don't want to build yet another sort of gifting application or platform, but it, like the experience that you walked us through, it still felt like that. Like, how would you sort of think about this a little differently, like without me have, or anyone for that matter, having to install another app or go to another website and log in or register? How else would you sort of think about this?
So yeah, I think the most important aspect that I've been saying that this is different from the other e-commerce platforms is the social or the relational angle. And I wanted to basically create these profiles. So the user, once they sign up, they would create profiles for their contacts and add some descriptions about them. And the AI engine, I think these are the two key differentiators for this gifting platform versus a typical e-commerce platform. So I would basically design these in my first MVP. The other thing that I've been thinking about is the way the curation of the gifts itself happens, right? So if for each of the gifts, maybe I would add a story about how this gift is being created. Maybe there are local artists. So the business model moves towards like an artisanal curating kind of platform rather than buying it from an e-commerce platform. So these are primarily the three different, and this would be like a premium. I think I called it out in my presentation itself. So this would be a premium solution rather than a fulfillment engine, which is more focused on lower price, low budget gifting ideas.
Okay, so just to recap, it's another e-commerce application or website or platform, or is it you're bringing a social layer onto an existing like Flipkart or Amazon? Uh, just trying to understand that.
No, so it will be the focus will be on the social layer, but I'm not adding an integration to Amazon or Flipkart. I'm creating like a you know an artisanal model where the curation happens through locally crafted arts and
Okay,
gifts.
okay, got it. All right, yeah, thank you.
And thanks for the questions and thank you for the opportunity, IPL.
Thank you. Lena and Saptarish, till you guys can, get your scores together, I'll call the next team to set up their presentation. Shruti Rao and Samyak Jain.
Right. Thank you. I'm going to share.
And we will give out the QR code as well. Jury, can you don't start the presentation, please, till we give you the go-ahead. We need to get the scores.
Sure.
Do we scan this?
No, you don't. The audience.
Got
I will get the scores from you directly. So, Lena, you ready to go with the score?
Yeah,
1 to 5.
yeah. Where do I share that?
You can share that here. You can say it aloud.
Oh, okay. Out of 5, I would give this a 2.
Sapta?
I think I would also give this a 2.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll just give it 30 seconds for the audience to vote and get the scores on the screen. We'll just get the scores up now from the audience. Audience, I request you to scan and give us the scores for all the teams, please. Okay, we have the results. Yeah, we have the scores on here now. Okay. Thank you. Now, can we have the next presentation, please? All the best, Shruti and
Sure.
Sayu.
Thanks. I'm sharing my screen now. Right. So, is my screen visible?
Yeah, you was visible and audible.
Yeah.
Please go
Great.
ahead. Your
Thanks a
time.
lot. So, hi everybody. I'm Shruti. I work with Accenture, facilitating delivery of AI-powered projects from discovery to project completion as planned. So moving on, today we're going to present a prototype of a product idea that was designed to solve the challenge that we see across product teams. And here's how we are going to do it. We're going to go through the real user problem, learn or understand what we learned from the users, and then see how it translates into the prototype. So today, product managers spend more time gathering inputs than making decisions. So all the 8 product managers that we met with spoke about decision fatigue. Why? Because of scattered signals across tools like Jira, Teams, customer feedback, Outlook, etc. And on top of that, priorities keep shifting, and mostly without a logic. So one of the product managers we met with very clearly put it as half the day is gone before I can even act. So the lack is not lack of data. The problem is not lack of data. The problem is lack of clarity to act on. So we used the UCD map to structure our thinking and realized what the problem is, what is broken, and what our product managers need. And that's exactly our unique value proposition, from scattered signal to clear decision. Open it, see what matters, decide, and move on. So, from the key insights that we had out of the user interviews that we did, 3 user needs emerged. One is unify a scattered signal, reduce the decision fatigue, explain and defend the trade-offs. We created 2 personas. Priya, a group leader, a group product leader. She has the entire feature list ready, but she's unclear of what should I prioritize. And then we have Shailesh. He's a rigorous evaluator who struggles with how can I prove what I prioritized, why I prioritize, sorry. So what we understood from emotionally was also clear. Our product managers were overwhelmed because they were constantly shifting between tools. They were mentally fatigued to decide. However, they were relieved when things were clear and data was backed. So brainstorming, how might we solve these problems were translated into the user needs. So you have scattered signals, bring in a signal aggregation engine. You have decision fatigue, then have an AI prioritization to pre-rank the backlogs. Reiterating Shailesh's problem of how can I prove why I prioritize this? Provide reasoning to every ranked items. So zooming out to our product leader Priya's journey as well, she went from frustrated to having clarity to feeling confident and empowered to make decisions. And to add to this, we also saw a clear gap. The existing tools either collected these signals or they prioritized it, but they did not explain the decision end to end. So we asked ourselves, what if prioritization felt more like a decision, not an exercise, not a negotiation, or just a guess? So from long hours of manual reconciliation, mostly driven by the loudest voice, Clariview looks at enabling managers with open it, see what matters, decide, and then move on. So now I'll hand it over to Samyak to take you through the rest of the journey. Samyak.
Yes, sharing my screen.
Yeah.
One second. Is my screen visible?
You are visible.
Okay, okay.
Share.
Okay. So my name is Samyak and I have around 16 years of experience as a technical project manager working for Sony Music, working on their IT solutions. So continuing with the presentation, we intentionally designed the MVP around reducing the decision friction before
Samyak,
Yeah.
The presentation is not visible. You are visible.
Sorry, what is... One second. Now?
Can see your screen, Samya.
Huh.
Is it visible now?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, you can see the features, what it is displaying. Okay.
No, we are seeing you only.
Yeah. Not the PPT,
presentation.
not the presentation.
PPT, you have to select the presentation and select. Initially, you shared it correctly, later on.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me share it.
Samyak, we can see your slide and your screen. Is there something else you're working on?
I don't know. I've selected the screen to be shared.
We see features and prioritization.
Yeah, let me...
What we're seeing on screen right now is features and prioritization.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't
Is
know
it,
why I didn't see it.
Okay. That is the screen I'm sharing actually.
Yeah. So that's what we can see. So go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
One second. Okay, so we intentionally designed our MVP around reducing the decision friction before expanding the functionality. Every selected feature came directly from the repeated pain patterns, which surfaced during the interviews, which was then mapped to our HMW statements. As we saw, Priya spends first 2 hours of every Monday gathering context before she starts deciding. So we aim to eliminate those 2 hours. With integration setup, Priya can connect to various multiple sources from which the tool extracts data, synthesizes the signals, and populates it into a pre-ranked backlog dashboard within seconds, without the need to open a Slack or a Jira first. Next feature would be the explainability, where 7 out of 8 PMs told us during the interview that they struggled to justify the prioritization decision to the leadership. So instead of showing only the scores, the AI also shows the reasoning behind the scoring. The override workflow is our human-in-loop feature for the product, which preserves the user control and the accountability. So every override is recorded with the user justification. And this data can be very useful to us as we can use this data to train our models and make it more accurate in the future. So every MVP feature had a measurable validation threshold. To list a few, we had users were able to identify the top prioritized items within 60 seconds of opening the dashboard. And next, the PMs were able to understand and explain the AI rationale behind every scoring within few minutes without leaving the app. And in case the users disagreed with the score, they were able to update the score using the override feature. So these are the 5 key user journeys, what our product covers. The main ones would be the signal ingestion, the prioritization and decision, and human override and audit, which I'll be showing in the prototype demo. These are the detailed user flows for the features what we just discussed, having the happy path and the error states. So our roadmap follows 3 strategic arcs. The phase 1 would be to build trust with AI scoring, explainability, override accountability, with which the user has a confidence to connect the sensitive data to our system. And phase 2 would be to increase intelligence with maybe better signal synthesis, NLP enrichment, clustering, and smarter prioritization techniques. The phase 3, finally, we would go for scaling the collaboration with cross-team workflows, exports, alerts, and organizational coordination. So this roadmap isn't a feature sequencing, it is more of a trust sequencing for the product. So coming to the MVP prototype, which we used Figma Make. So as Priya logs into the application, first time she would go.
You have about 2 minutes, so
Yeah.
finish your presentation.
Yes, thank you. So I would go to the integration and connect multiple sources, which Priya would usually use for the prioritization. And as she moves to the dashboard, she would see the prioritized items along with the sources, sentiments, and AI score. We have tried to incorporate as much UX principles we learned during the training to make the customer experience better. We also have the option to select different prioritization framework. We have a sprint progress indicator showing the incomplete tasks. We have a familiar UI so that to reduce the learning curve for the users. We also highlight the low confident items so that to emphasize users' attention. So using progressive disclosure on clicking on any of the AI score, we are able to see the explanation for each of the scores. So she can see the signal breakdown, customer quotes from multiple sources. There is also an option to expand and see the details. She can either accept the ranking or override the scores if she disagrees with the AI score. So on updating the scores, she can see the recalculated score and also the deviation from the original AI score. And for this change, justification would be usually, not usually, always mandatory, so that we have a data record for the change which happened.
Hi, team. You need to summarize in the next 30 seconds.
Yes. Updated. I'll just add a justification and save the run. So with this decision workflow, we are not just looking to decrease the prioritization speed, but also bring a decision clarity. And with this, Priya gets her 2 hours back every sprint. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, Jury, your questions, please.
Sapta, do you want to go first?
No, go ahead, Lena. I'll go after you.
Okay, so just a tip, I struggled a bit like through the presentation because there was a lot of information on every slide, and I was trying to listen to what you were saying, and I was trying to grasp like what was on like all the content on the slides. So maybe just going forward, like maybe like I don't know, either break it down to more slides or like just try and prioritize what really needs to be conveyed, because it's difficult to follow otherwise, right? And it seems like it's a packed problem that you're trying to solve. One question I had was, again, and this is my experience based on like PMs that I've generally worked with, right, in the past. A lot of the work is very invisible. Like a lot of stuff happens in meetings and discussions. How would that be sort of captured as part of this tool? These corridor conversations, or in meetings when there's like something being discussed. How would the that sort of goodness be captured in something like this?
So usually what we have observed is we have the meeting recorders now where we take the notes and we can have the information what was spoken during the meeting. We have AI integration to the Teams where
Okay, so we integrated one of those.
Yeah. So we can integrate those. If we integrate the Teams, we can extract the information from there, is what we are thinking in that lines.
Got it. Okay. Another quick question. So it feel like the whole application, it felt like, or maybe because I'm seeing it for the first time, it felt like the PM would have to spend a lot of time in the tool itself, versus actually making decisions and maybe empathizing with users, like some of the other sort of key responsibilities or aspects that a PM should be sort of on top of. If you had to sort of extract or like distill down the features that would really go into this MVP even further, what would you focus on? Because it seems like a lot.
Yeah, usually we have a lot of data and we don't know what to do with it.
Data is one thing, but it felt like while it's doing all that work for me.
If we want to focus on something, is our product main thing is the AI. Apart from that, it is like basic app. So for the AI, we need to build trust among the users to use it or adopt it. So the first would be to have a strong prioritization program so that the users have more confidence to adopt the application. And further, we can maybe add more features, like maybe as you're telling, it is too much for the PMs to do in the app. So maybe the first one would be the prioritized dashboard. And maybe along with that, we can have the AI rational so that he has a confidence that there is some logic behind the AI scoring. And he has, some justification points to talk whenever it's required.
Okay. Yep. Sapta, over to you.
Yeah, hey folks, thanks for the presentation. My questions are also on a similar line because you mentioned that Priya was the persona, right? That she spends, I think, 2 days every week trying to do this prioritization, or 2 hours. Sorry, you mentioned something, 2 hours or 2 days. I don't fully remember. 2 hours, 2 hours. So you wanted to eliminate those 2 hours. So my questions are also around, because the flow when you showed, you log in, you connect, and then there's a dashboard already ready. What I didn't fully understand is how did those things get populated? Like, is there some other place where you are entering them, and the moment you build the connections, it's already get populated? That part I wasn't clear.
Okay.
Is that what it is?
It is like when you connect any source, when she connects to any source, the data is extracted from there. Maybe it is a Jira's or the meeting notes or the email experts from there. And on that, we run a AI model which would, process the data. We have the embeddings and the clustering happening where the duplicate entries are removed first, and then the scores are applied based on the frequency of how many times it was mentioned and the user codes, the semantics of how important the user is commenting on any Jira or the priority of the Jira. So based on that, it would apply the scores. And
So
then
Jira is already created. Somebody has already created the Jira for everything that needs to be done maybe in the next 6 months or a year, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Got it. Another
So
like smaller, sorry, smaller question. Do you think a custom GPT or a Claude skill could also do it?
It could do, but the thing is, it is mostly conversational, and it wouldn't save anything what you have done there. It would be like temporary memory. You would have the conversations, and again, it would be a manual work where you are importing everything, attaching to it. Now we have Jira connected to the Claude, but not all the connectors we have. So there also it would be an extra manual work where you're again extracting everything, putting into it. And one plus point what this app would add is you would have an audit trail on what had happened, what was the prioritization, and if in case they updated, we'll have a record for it, and what was the justification for that updation. So that thing will be missing in the ChatGPT or the Claude.
Okay. All right. Sure. No more questions.
Okay. Thank you, jury. We'll just get the scores for this team. In the meanwhile, you can call out your scores. Saptar, you want to go first this time?
Sure. I think I'll go for 2.5, if that's allowed.
2.5. All right. Lena?
I'll stick to round numbers 2.
Okay. All right. So we'll just get the audience poll. The audience, please scan the QR code for this team. Okay, so we have the audience poll, scores on communication design, design vocabulary, futuristic idea, mapping skills for chosen business, holistic view of the business model. All right. Thank you. And now we have the next team. Vasudevan, Dheeraj, Sharayu.
Hi, Sharana. Hope you can hear us.
Yes, can hear.
Can we get started?
Yes, you can. Please share your screen and you can get started.
Very good evening, everyone. We are Team NutriChef. So I'd like to start by saying that the product idea that we have is eat smarter, live better by making healthy eating effortless. So this is something that, the vision that we want to bring it to reality. So I would love to quickly introduce ourselves. I'm Shravya, and I have along with me Dheeraj, Sharayu, and Vasudevan, and we'd like to walk you through our product idea. Yeah. So I would like to ask, like, imagine being told by your doctor that the food you eat can actually save your life, but every day, every single day, you end up eating just whatever is available at your house. So that is the reality for millions of Indians, who are managing chronic conditions like diabetes, cardiac, autoimmune, and so many other post-surgery related recovery diseases. And the problem statement that we kind of understood by interviewing a lot of medically affected people was that it's not that they are not aware of, the problem is not awareness, but they know what to eat, but then the doctors have also advised them, but the real problem is the execution inside the household. So what is something that we have observed is shared kitchen, living in a joint family is making personalization for cooking difficult. Existing food delivery apps mostly built around fitness or calories, and not for medical conditions. And some working people with working couples don't have time. And the people that we are looking here are not the ones who are trying to get fit, but the ones who are actually trying to avoid insulin injections, or the kind of second heart attacks, or worsening and organ damage. So that is what we are looking at. So please move forward. And we did user interviews with people with few medical conditions, and something that that commonly stood out amongst all these was, people know what to eat, but then they don't have the support to execute it. And that is something that became the foundation of NutriChef. So the problem is execution and not core awareness. And being medically compliant diet is something that that has been a big pain point for all the people. Please move forward. Yeah. So the kind of persona that we tried to come up with was basically, one is in their people in their 30s, working, and another is medically dependent users. And the one user that we tried here is, let's look at Ratika, who's managing multiple medical conditions, who is at early diabetes risk. She's managing postpartum recovery. She also has autoimmune condition. But one thing is that she comes from a joint family. The decisions are collective. Her needs are different. Her mother-in-law's needs are different. And end of the day, she ends up thinking that my health always comes last, and deciding what to eat is exhausting, and my diet plans are also not fitting it. So this is what is some of the pain points that she is facing. And we also tried to do the empathy map for this. Please move forward. Saying that she knows what she should eat, but then she thinks that this collective food is not meeting my needs, ends up eating whatever is available. But at the end of the day, she ends up feeling guilty or anxious that that I'm not being able to focus on my health. Please move forward.
Yeah. So now, before building NutriChef, we deeply studied the real problem faced by Indian households managing medical diets. Now, we identified three major problems here: lack of time, lack of dietary knowledge, and difficulty in consistently following doctor recommended meal plans. Now, most working professionals and caregivers know what to eat, but struggle with the execution every single day. Now, from our research, users wanted medically guided meals, trusted chefs, and a simple way to track nutrition without complexity. At the same time, they had concerns around hygiene, punctuality, food quality, and trust. That is where NutriChef positions itself. We connect users with verified chefs, verified trained chefs, trained in nutrition and dietetics, personalized to specific medical conditions like diabetes, cardiac care, or weight management. Unlike generic food delivery or home chef platforms, NutriChef combines healthcare, personalization, and convenience into one ecosystem, creating a trusted and scalable, health-focused food solution. Next. So now let me introduce you to Rohan, a typical NutriChef user. Rohan is a busy working professional who has recently been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and a fatty liver. His doctor gives him a strict diet plan, but like most people, he struggles to turn medical advice into daily meals that are actually tasty and sustainable. That's where NutriChef comes in. Through the app, Rohan gets matched with a trained chef who understands clinical nutrition and cooks meals specifically for his condition. The chef not only prepares healthy meals but also handles prep, hygiene, and cleanup. bringing convenience and trust directly into his home. And over time, something important happens. Rohan stops feeling like he is on diet and starts enjoying his food, while his health markers begin improving. This is the real vision of NutriChef, bridging the gap between medical advice and everyday living, one meal at a time. Next, please, MVP. So now, from the MVP, we designed the MVP to validate one core hypothesis that users are willing to pay for personalized, medically aligned home cooked meals from trusted chefs. The initial offering focuses on four key pillars. First, meal specifics. Users can customize meal based on timings, dietary restrictions, and health conditions. Second, chef preferences. Users can choose chefs based on profiles, language, and comfort preferences, which is very important or essential for Indian households. Third, menu and location. The platform supports multiple cuisines while initially targeting tier 1 cities for operational and demand concentration. And finally, service and trust. Transparent pricing, verified chefs, reviews, ratings, and backups. Backup chefs support build confidence and reliability. The goal of this MVP is not just food delivery, it is creating a trusted healthcare enabled nutrition platform that seamlessly fits into everyday life. Over to you, Sharyu.
So now looking at our prototype, our high fidelity wireframes, we have designed it for a mobile app because using mobile apps for this our user persona, our user segment is like everyone is familiar with that, and you can use those apps anywhere, anytime. So there is a flexibility for that. So first, the onboarding flow is designed to be simple, familiar, and low effort. Users can quickly sign up using OTP or password login and create a profile by entering their medical conditions and dietary needs. We followed familiar mobile patterns to reduce learning effort, while clean layouts create a more intuitive and trustworthy experience. The goal is to capture meaningful personalization data without overwhelming the user. In the next stage, users can add doctor recommendations, cuisine preferences, preferred chef timings. It allows NutriChef to adapt to the user's real lifestyle and not just medical requirements. The layouts are designed using balanced visual proportions, helping the screen feels organized, calm, and easy to navigate.
You have 3 more minutes to finish your presentation.
Yes. Once onboarding is complete, users can discover chefs matched to their medical and lifestyle preferences. The platform prioritizes compatibility through cuisine expertise, dietary specialization, ratings, and availability. To reduce decision friction, chef cards follow familiar browsing patterns and highlight the most important information first. So we introduce a 3-day free trial because trust and hygiene were major concern identified during our research. After the trial, users can seamlessly continue with a weekly, monthly, quarterly, or 6-month subscription plan. The payment flow is intentionally simple and mobile friendly. Key actions like payment and confirmation buttons are prominently placed so that it can be done faster and with a comfortable interaction. This helps create a frictionless transition from trial to long-term adoption of this plan. Beyond booking the chefs, we focused on long-term engagement and support to our users, where users can receive timely notifications, access in-app support, and interaction with NutriSathi, our AI-powered nutrition assistant. NutriSathi provides personalized meal suggestions and nutrition guidance based on the user's condition and preferences. This transforms NutriChef from a just chef booking platform into a continuous health support ecosystem. Now let's look at NutriChef's roadmap.
And I am presenting our three-phase product roadmap, starting with phase 1 in Q3 2026. Our initial goal is validation, and we are launching verified chef cooking system, a medical safe recipe engine, and basic daily meal logging. Architecturally, a localized small language model powers our AI assistant, NutriSathi. To solve the complex allocation problem of pairing chefs with customers, our matching engine implements AI ML approaches like a Hungarian method for combinational optimization and game safely for stable matchmaking and semantic matching for preference alignment. And our target is to pilot NutriChef in tier 1 cities and acquire first 100 paying customers. In Q1 2027, our phase 2 shift focused to core expansion. We initially introduce regional recipe variants and scale our backend to support category management mode, and user will gain access to rule-based ingredient swapping and dynamic portion controls and synchronized with predictive push reminders to optimize user retention. Our milestone are to expand operations into 3 additional cities and leverage this optimized feature to achieve a sustained 80% user adherence. Finally, in Q4 2027, Phase 3 transforms our platform into connected health ecosystem. We deploy structured symptom and energy tracking, and for medical validation, we are building a secure clinical diet review portals and proactive predictive adherence alerts. Our milestone are to secure B2B partnerships with over 10 clinical chains and launch our predictive health insights engine. And finally, I want to end up with the closing note. The food you eat can be either a safest and most powerful form of medicine or slowest form of poison. And NutriChef vision is turn medical advice into daily action, from prescription to plate and diagnosis to dieting. Above all, we are not just selling a meal plan, and we are providing a life-saving intervention in the most important part of the house, the kitchen. Thank you.
Team, are you done with the presentation?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
yes, yeah.
Yes,
All right.
yes. Yeah.
Q&A, jury.
Yeah. Could you all go back to the screens that were being shared? I mean,
Yeah,
of the
yes. Just a minute.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, this is where you started, right? Okay, so apart from the conditions that I'm expected to enter, just go to the next slide. I think it was the next slide.
Yeah, this one?
Yeah.
Can I add? Yeah.
Yes, yes. So over here, right, like this is where it loses me a bit. Like the intent is great, it's a real problem, but somewhere somewhere in this flow, it starts to feel like any other home chef application or service. Like what's missing for me is the even if I select veg and South Indian, right, and maybe the slots, how is it like telling me what are the dishes I need to eat? Or even if the chef comes home and cooks whatever for me, right? How do I know that what she's making for me is actually healthy and addressing my problems? Like, what are those dishes? What is that nutritional information? What is being used? That health aspect is somewhere it's sort of it's missing here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, got
So,
it. Got it.
yeah, Dheeraj, you want to take?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So there are 2 ways here to look at it. One,
Mhm.
so the diet plan, right? What we are focusing currently will be provided by the nutritionist, and that is something that we are looking to get it uploaded within the platform so that the chef is aligned with the food that he needs to prepare. That is one part. Second, so one part as in whenever you go through such kind of surgeries or such kind of procedures, usually in the hospital itself, the nutritionist will visit you and they will provide you the diet plan. If at all, if you're not coming from that direction, you can kind of consult the nutritionist within our platform, and then they can prepare a complete a diet plan for you, which will be fed within the application. So what is something that is going to cook that will be cooked for you today in the dinner or lunch or something like that. So yeah,
So the chef has to enter that information here.
No. So suppose let's suppose I consult a nutrition expert via NutriChef. As soon as they recommend something for me and I'm okay to go ahead with that, I would go ahead and accept it, and it will automatically start populating in the application. So that is something that we are looking at the next phase. I mean, you might not see it in the UI design for now, but yeah, that's how we have planned for it.
We haven't designed our meal tracking UIs yet, and it is not added. That's why I think you must be feeling that you are just onboarding a chef or having a chef, but then you are not able to track the meals. And how will you come to know that is it really benefiting you, right? But
yes,
we have not
exactly.
added those screens.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Go
to the next slide. Somewhere where I'm looking at what it'll cost me.
Yeah, this is the payment.
Yeah, here, right? The select plan, the first mock on the left. How much is it costing me weekly, monthly, 3 months? Like I can't make that decision unless I know what the cost is. I will only see it 2 clicks later, right?
Yeah, you're saying I have to first select a plan,
Between
select the
weekly,
chef,
monthly,
and
3
then
months,
only I
6
can.
months.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like you're not telling me what each of this will cost, the monthly plan, the 3 months plan, 6 months plan. I'll only get to know that later. So you'll see a lot of drop-offs happening here, the payment stage screen. Right?
Hi, Lina. We kind of, assess the willingness to pay while taking the user interviews, and we did want to come up with the pricing strategy as well. But we didn't specifically get into the numbers or put it for the weekly, monthly plan. So you're asking here to have the numbers right on the
Whatever the numbers are,
subscription
like
screen.
for me, for me as a user to make a decision, I can't decide this because I don't know what it costs, right?
Correct. Yes.
I will drop off here, or I'll drop off here if I find 4,999 too expensive for me.
Right.
So
So
just
somewhere
like
upfront,
any e-commerce platform, the prices should be upfront, right?
yes,
Along
yes,
with the product. Got it.
Yeah, it's oversight. We will accept it. Right? We'll do it. Thank
Sorry?
you. Thanks for it's a oversight. We'll accept it. It should be next to the
no
plan.
worries. No.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks.
for
Very
sharing.
good suggestion. Excellent suggestion. Yeah. Thanks.
Sapta?
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions around the proposition itself. So just to ensure that I have understood it right. So if I have a medical condition, I just fiddle around, and tell what it is. And a chef comes to my home and cooks.
Yes. Yes.
Does the chef get the ingredients like I see in this comic book?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Yes. Ingredients are provided by us. The diet plan is also something which is inbuilt or which is given in the platform. The chef has to follow those diet plans.
Got it. Tell me something. What is the toughest part of running this business? And I'm not even come to the design, right? I'm generally trying to understand the proposition, because you mentioned that the recipes, which are an important thing, right? Whether you shouldn't use butter, no red meat, this portion, 40 grams of rice and all of that, it's being given by the nutritionist, which I believe there's an option to get it from your platform as well. Or if I have it, I just upload.
Right.
Once I upload, anyone can do it, right? It is just about following it. So what is the USP of your platform? Is it the fact that your chefs are different and they're better at following instruction? Or because you mentioned a lot about trust and a lot of other things, again, I'm trying to connect what is the USP of your platform?
Correct.
Yeah.
So maybe
yes.
I'll go first, Dheeraj.
Yeah,
so one thing people commonly would ask is why not hire a cook and just train them, right? So personally, going through this experience, hiring a cook and training them works, but for certain medical conditions, you have too many restrictions. Say the food has to be liquid, they cannot take a kind of citrus food, and those things I feel only a medically, somebody who has a medical knowledge, who has been trained in that, would be able to follow. And even if you train a normal chef, they're optimized to cooking to the taste of a normal household. So they might end up, it needs your constant monitoring. Again, the idea here is to reduce effort on your side. So that is something that I see with the normal cooking. And the second one is, going for delivery apps. Again, everything is around calories, and it is not, again, restricted to, the kind of oil control or the food restriction or something that a particular patient, somebody, who is going through diabetes is focusing. So the food restrictions and end of the day, people also face a lot of choice fatigue. Every day you can't, even if you train them, and every day they can't keep cooking the same meal. So somebody who has a medical knowledge and also has something around the nutrition, so we'll give them the training around that part so that they can focus on these two aspects is what we are looking at, Sapta.
So your chefs are your USP, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Got it. So first feedback on that is it's not coming out that your chefs are your USP, because it just says the name and there was a rating, if I remember right? That's not enough. Then I could be Sapta 5-star chef, right? What it is doesn't tell me. It doesn't help me trust that these are medically trained staff or something. That's why I've got one or two follow up, right? If your chef is your USP, why send a chef to someone's home? Why not just deliver the food made by the chef? And I'll tell you why, because one chef can only cater to one patient or your user at a time. Whereas if you deliver, the same quality standards could be maintained and you could cater to a larger audience. So have you thought about that?
We did think about it. So mostly the delivery apps that we have seen people
No, leave,
individually.
leave the existing
Yeah,
delivery apps.
yeah.
Your USP is your chef. Your USP is the food that you produce. I'm not comparing it with Swiggy's and Zomato's
Yeah.
of the world. I'm just saying medium of giving the value. Right now, it's a person, it's a one-on-one versus one-to-many. That's the question that I'm asking.
So the idea that we had was people who want chefs to come to their home and cook, so that they have that trust in them. They have the confidence that, you know, the food is being prepared in front of their eyes and it's being delivered. And the food delivery is an entirely different concept, right? So maybe Dheeraj, you can also add your point.
Yeah, I just wanted to add. So, Sapta, you rightly mentioned, because using the model that you are saying, we can cater to a larger audience. That's true. But from an Indian household perspective, that emotional thing has to be there कि यार kitchen आपके kitchen में prepare हुआ खाना, right? I mean, if I order it, because there are brands like Parafit, Food Darzi, which are doing the same thing, but again, you don't have the visibility on how it is getting prepared, right? So वो एक angle was important actually for us. So that's the reason we want the chefs to visit somebody's house and then prepare it in front of them using the ingredients that they have provided, so that that trust is something that is maintained. So,
Got it. Just one last small thing.
Sorry, one add. There is a freshness element added to it because they are all patients. Okay, they have to eat it fresh, hot, and in that environment. So that will add something extra to it. So this is where we came up with this idea, sending stuff directly to the home instead of cooking and sending it through some delivery app or something. Thank you. Sorry, sir.
Okay, fair enough. So my only last thing was, you had given the example of joint families. Everyone knows what they want, what they need to eat, but it's like not viable for them because joint family, too many people, food is getting cooked for a lot of people, right? So how practical do you think this would be? Because the rest of the family would eat normal food, and then there's another person coming who would need the kitchen time, who would need everything. So operationally, do you think it'll make sense from a family's point of view, not just your business?
The idea is to at least save that one person's life who doesn't want to worsen their condition. So at least for MVP, we want to start by addressing that person's concern so that we can think about other personas and other secondary things later, Sapta.
Sure. I'm done.
So yeah,
sorry, I took a lot of time.
No, yeah, as Shravya said, rightly, the idea is to identify that one persona who is facing the issue and who is getting kind of ignored in this large setup, right? So, a problem we are trying to solve, a very specific thing. Yeah. Yes.
And some of these conditions like fatty liver, diabetes, I think they are quite common, especially in the range of, 30 to 40, 55 kind, 30 to 45, 55, 50 kind of thing. So if one person is improving the health in the family, others will also can, start joining that, and then the entire family's health also can be improved in this model.
Do we have time for one last quick question, if you don't mind? What was in your MVP? What was the trial period that you were recommending?
3 days.
For something that is medical or health based, just something to think about. How what results would I see in three days? Right. The success of this is if I've hired a chef trained in, let's say, in creating.
Your voice is breaking, Leena, in between,
food,
actually.
meal plans, whatever, and me actually seeing results. And sorry, can you hear me? Let me turn off my. Is this better?
Yeah,
This is better.
Yeah.
Oh my.
No, what is your question? Can you repeat?
Yes, Leena, we can hear you.
What I was saying was, why is the trial period only 3 days? Because this is like it's largely based on health, right? Like, what results would I see in 3 days?
Initially, they want to set the combination, that is rapport with the family and the chef. Okay, that's what they want to check hygiene, trust, and he is cooking as per this thing. We thought of around 7 days and 10 days also, but initially we want to go with 3 days. That's what it's something like that. So just to have a familiar, okay, whether he's cooking, and if we give them too much time also, it will be backfire us. And if we give very less for 1 or 2 days also, it will backfire us. So we want to put it in between on a safer side. Anyone like to add about it?
Yeah, so I mean that could be another iteration based on the customer's request. For example, let's say H1B B is HbA1c, right? I think you can see a drop in your sugar or the diabetic numbers or sugar numbers, glucose numbers basically within 7 days. So if
Exactly. So it varies on the condition. So
correct,
that's why I
correct,
was
correct.
saying why 3 days.
No, so three
Yeah.
is not a standard. So we can again, depending upon certain conditions,
Yeah.
depending on that, we can keep it between 3 to 7 days, but will not prolong it for a longer time. That was what we thought initially.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lina.
Thank you, team. You can go ahead with the scores, Julie.
I'll give this a 3.
Okay, and
I'll tell my score and I'll also maybe share a line as to why my score is this. I'll give it a 2. And the reason is because the heavy lifting here has to be done by the people on ground, the training of these people and all, and has got to less around the strategy in the app or in the design that you mentioned. So it's a more of a system design problem or an operations problem. So, since that is your USP, that's why I kept asking. I didn't see a lot of strategy around how that would be built. That's probably beyond the scope of product design. I don't know. So that's the reason my score is a 2.
okay,
Thank you, Jesus. Yeah.
fair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, audience, please scan the QR code. And the next team with Pradeep, Saranya, and Aditya, you all can get ready for your presentation.
Aditya, can you share this slide?
Yeah, I'll say once the scores are finalized.
Yeah, we'll just go through the scores. Okay. You can present your screens and all the best with your presentation.
Thank you. And I would like to welcome Sapta and Lina for the session today. Warm welcome to you. We, the Finfluence team of Aditya, Sharanya, and myself, Pradeep, will be talking about Finfluence, a topic that is very close to our heart and which I feel is very good for the world in future. We are talking about the teens, and primarily as of now, we are talking about the Indian teens who are very digital savvy, and they spend a lot of time in the digital platform, but they also transact a lot in finance, right? But today they don't have any structured way of learning the financial habits, because of which their expenses are a bit emotional and in a very in a higher level, and parents are left with only getting SMS saying, okay, so much expenses happen, and there is no visibility. That's where Finfluence as an application, as a team, we're coming across in providing a smart financial management app for teens, which is built to teach money skills, track spending, and bring parents into the conversation of spending. Aditya, we can go to the next slide, please. The problem statement, sorry. Let it be in the problem statement. Sorry for that. So here, the basic tension that we see is that teens are craving for independence, while the parents are craving for control, primarily because of their spending nature. So this tension is where Finfluence steps in. Why it matters is because poor money habits, which formed early on, leads to a long-term financial instability, something which you have also experienced in life. So the earlier teens learn, it's better. So we are designing for. You can go to the. Yeah. So we're designing the two personas we have is Aurav and Mira. So Finfluence is like as we said, it's a financial wellness app that gives teens autonomy through digital wallets, goal-based savings, and real-time budget tracking, while parents retain oversight and peace of mind. So Aurav, as we say, is the aspiring achiever. I look at my son the same way. So in this, we have taken Aurav, who is a 16-year-old student, with an allowance of 8,000 per month, but he's an impulsive spender. Right? He fears potential misuse. in the digital world, but who aspires to be financially independent by 40, and he wants to learn money habits. Meera, who is a mother, who acts as a supportive guide, who is 42 years of age and earns 10 times the salary that we give allowance to Arav. But she wants to, she is careful of, she is cautious about, yeah, allowing Arav to spend, but she wants to empower him with a tool that will give them, which can educate, track, and guide the Arav. So coming to the next slide. So what we did is, so we did a thorough study. We did some surveys. We did a lot of, brainstorming within us. And one thing that we felt, and there are a lot of apps which are there already in the market. But one thing that we see that differentiates our influences, we would be the first dedicated teen financial wellness platform, which combines goal-based saving along with giving transparency to the ecosystem. So when we dive deep into this, one of the fears that we got to know is teens usually fear of misusing of financial assets, right? So if they're given the financial, will something happen? And they feel sometimes with more surveillance over their spending, they feel very restricted. So what is our unique value proposition in terms of in launching this app is that we would provide a platform wherein teens get the financial independence and a parental peace, right? So the parents can see how the spending is happening, and with certain guardrails to ensure that there is no mistakes or no risk of fear will be there. So builds a real world financial habit. We have some few alternates right now with cash and debit cards on market and a pocket money app, but then those at the age of 16, it's a bit restricted. So we are trying to give it a wallet kind of a scenario where the parent can give some money and they can come first. But more about this, I will let Saranya to take us forward and see what is it that makes Finfluence so great. Saranya, over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pradeep. So this is the understanding of user. So when we did a customer interview, so we didn't build like on assumptions or something. Like we validated it through 3 phases, like discovery process, starting with secondary research on teen fintech adoption and RBI guidelines around digital wallets for minors. We moved into primary research, like surveying like 40 teenagers and 10 parents. So what we found was striking, like 72.5% of teens rated their digital payment comfort at 4 out of 5. They're ready, and 58.5% said that they would prefer their own payment app over using a parent's UPI. And on the parent side, like 100%, they agreed that the control freedom limits is the best approach, and no direct competitor addresses this in India as of now. And that's our product fit signal, market fit signal, and desirable based on desirability, viability, and feasibility all converge right here. And 20 years like market fit, that what we see is for 13 to 18 year age bracket, self-replenishes every generation. There will be always like the teenagers who need learn about money, and poor habits formed early lead to long-term financial instability. That's proven. As we layer in AI nudges and investment simulations in phase 4, like Finfluence evolves from budgeting tool into a full financial life skills platform built to stay relevant for the next 20 years. Adi, next slide, please. So this is the MVP, like bare minimum features that we have picked up. Like for teens, wallet balance tracking and personalized budget creations and expense logging with category insights, and also like goal-based savings with auto save. That's the complete manage money loop. And for parents, like allowance management with auto transfers and spending visibility with approval workflows and category level spending limits. That's a complete trust but verify loop for the parents. Adi, next slide, please. So this is our roadmap, like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. In 3 months, like first shipping the MVP core foundation, like wallet, budgeting, allowance management, and basic parental controls. This directly solves the primary problem. And in second phase, like deepens habit formations with goal-based savings, auto-save toggle, and milestone badges. This is where daily engagement kicks in the second phase. And in the third phase, like brings gamifications and financial literacy modules like XP points, streaks, and daily challenges. This is what differentiates us from the basic wallet app that currently what it is there in the market. And the phase 4 goes with the AI powered smart nudges and dummy investments environment and fintech partnership talks. This is where Finfluence prepares teens teens for real world financial complexity and where our monetization mode gets built. Adi, next slide, please. This is the user journey map. Finally, our user journey map for Arif tells the emotional story behind the product. He starts confused, unsure which app to trust, and gets through a secure parent assistant onboarding, and then moves into managing money, where he finally feels relieved to have clarity. Financial literacy modules build his confidence, and by the time he is tracking his progress, watching his savings grow, seeing spending trends, is optimistic. The shift from confused to optimistic, that's the transformation Finfluence is designed to deliver. A confident teen who makes smart financial decision, and a parent who finally needs the peace of mind. Adi, next slide. Yeah, over to you, Adi.
You
Thanks,
have
Rani.
3 more
Thanks.
minutes to finish your presentation.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Anya. Thanks, Pradeep. So we have our user flow and information architecture on this one. So we have listed out some flows such as budget allocation, expense tracking, balance check, etc. So I'll quickly move to our prototype. So this is our low fidelity prototype. So this is it is sketch and a basic wireframe. It is mostly focusing on our user flow and the core functionality before diving into visual details. And we have also added a particular flow for we have our onboarding flow, then we have create account, login, dashboard, homes, add money, spend money, etc. We also have some navigation bars at the bottom. So this is our low fidelity prototype. And we also have our high fidelity prototype, which is a refined visual, detailed interaction and polished user interface. And this is solely built on our low fidelity and sketches that we have prepared. The vision of Finfluence is to enhance safe learning. It should build trust, and the teens should be ready for life. We also have our presentation for. We also have a just a second. I'm unable to. Okay, yeah. We also have our prototype that we want to showcase. So this is our prototype. We have two dashboard, which is one for Arav and one for Mira. So if I go to parent dashboard, if Mira wants to add some amount, I would say a rupees of a sum of 600 rupees. She can directly add it, and it will be visible onto Arav's wallet. Arav can directly use his wallet, and suppose he wants to pay rupees 500 for some gaming, so he can send a request. This request will directly go to Mira. Okay, and Mira on her action items will have this notification whether she wants to approve or she wants to decline. As soon as she approves it, the balance gets deducted from Arav's account, and that's it. The transaction happens. So on Arav's dashboard also we have spending trends. We have recent activity. Arav can check his weekly spends, monthly and monthly spends. Apart from that, he can also check the categories on which he is spending. He can check the smart insights. Apart from that, yeah, some notable spends are also there. He can also track his goal-based savings. Okay, I think that's no worries. Yeah, he can also track his goal-based savings, and yeah, that was about the prototype. We also have things for Mira, where Mira can track the expense of Arav, and she can see trends where he's spending and what are the smart insights. That's it. That's all from our side. Thank you.
Questions, jury? Saptarsh?
Yeah, I can go. Right. So there was a one thing that I saw, that there is an approval process, right? So is it real time? So if a kid, if I'm scanning, a QR or whatever from the wallet, and I'm trying to make a payment, so my parent gets a notification immediately, and the payment doesn't go through till the time they approve.
It is actually real time. Plus, parents can also set a limit. Suppose if Arav is making a transaction below rupees 500, so that will get automatically passed. But if there is a limit set of 500, okay, and above that, if there is any payment, so that will go to the request. That control is with parent. directly. They can modify as per their choices.
Got it. And then there was also a thing while making a payment, there was a category pick thing that you had put,
Correct.
right? So
Correct.
why are we doing that? Why are you doing that? Just to understand.
Category is to provide a detailed insight, so that a parent and teen can actually get back to their transactions and see like what actually is my teen spending on. Okay, and they can track like if they want to cut down expenses, so they can see like on which categories they can cut down, and what actually the money is being spent on, so they have deeper insights and they can take more informed decisions for future, like that.
So it's monitoring. And
Yeah,
you're
it's
monitoring the kid and asking the kid, where did you spend on?
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So Saptarshi,
Will
it's
that
a kind
work?
of it will
That
work. The
works.
reason
That
is
works. Yeah.
so the reason is right now uh, we don't have a financial mentality in education in India, right, or anywhere in the world. So we need to, at the same time, we realize that the childrens need more autonomy and more self-driven. So, but there should be a cautious road that we travel in. So we are giving them some freedom where we don't ask, but at the same time, when we categorize, the children themselves will come to know, are they impulsive or are they being wise when they're spending the money, right? So it works both ways. It educates them to understand where they're growing, and as it moves forward, it will be a good thing to reflect upon what's happening.
Also,
It is
our
for
categories are a bit broader, so we have not gone into very niche categories. So it's a bit broader thing. So that would not be a big issue to highlight. Yep.
it is also
Meaning
for
like,
their own tracking purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
got it. Their own tracking is fine, but I think what Aditya was saying was around monitoring a bit. And there I felt, if you say do not want your kid to spend a lot of time on money on junk food, I could be, as a kid eating junk food and then calling it books or something else, right? So that's what I laughed at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry for that reaction.
That is
No,
there.
that's
That is there. Yeah.
so that's
Right.
the beauty of this app, right? You get some time to
But
laugh
also,
around.
yeah, but also if you see the transaction, right? So if a kid is transacting on a junk food card, so that will be visible on the transaction as well. The name will appear, or something will come, right? So there is a process to track initially, but yeah, later we can give this a thought, like how we can close this loop.
Got it. See, the point that I was trying to make, and maybe I'll conclude, not a question as such. I was really curious about the dummy investment part that you mentioned, because that felt a little unique. Although there are some apps like FamPay, which is called Fam app,
Correct.
which
So
targets exactly this.
yeah.
So, but I didn't quite see that dummy investment part that you mentioned, which you had mentioned in your pitch. And also, I was thinking, like, how is this training the kid? There's just a process of approval from the parent. I didn't really see a lot of training happening on the app around financial discipline.
Yeah. So just to pitch in, actually, this was a prototype which is built on the MVP. So this is the prototype which we showcased. It was solely based on the minimum viable product. So those all things are in the in the plan, but it will get introduced as we progress towards the development, as we go towards the end of our roadmap. So those will get introduced.
So
So
just to
the
add one
prototype
point,
was solely
so
based on MVP. That's
yeah,
what
so to
we
add
want
one point
everyone
here,
to see.
Sapti. So basically, when you look at the learning, right, there'll be like what we do in IPL, there'll be two kinds of learning. There'll be one training or a video kind of a session which will give them an insight. And where this dummy app that comes across is basically, right, if they want to do some investment, for example, in stock or something. So the dummy app will give them some fictitious money and help them. So we'll have some tie-up and some gaming module created. So it will give them a real-time influence experiencing that how do I invest, where do I invest, and what is the outcome of that invest. So it will be kind of a two-way learning that will be coming across on this subject.
So initially, like we will we'll suggest for low risk something, any investments, and also it should be approved from their parents, and also parents can monitor and they can guide them whenever they start investing on this age, right, teenage. So also we have a like plan, that roadmap, when we say like investment plans and all. After now they can actually invest using the parents guidance. But after 18, they will also have some advantages, because the government is giving some unique like for who is investing below 18, right? So they have this advantage of tax benefits and all, and later they can convert this app as an adult app too. So now they'll be in learning stage. When they wanted to invest really, that time after 18, yes, they can use the same app and it will be an adult app. So that is what we are focusing later.
Got it, got it. Sure. Lena, all yours.
Covered most of what I wanted to ask, but I think one question I had was, I'm wondering, how is your MVP different from like a Google Pay, UPI wallet, or Pocket Money, or anything else that's already
So
out there?
when we did the competitor analysis, and also like the parents who have actually Google Pay, so there is some challenges. When I interviewed all of us, when we interviewed and when we took the survey and all, we got to know that the parents is also facing some challenges, and the teenagers also facing some challenges, because for each and everything the teenagers go and stand in front of their parents to ask some, even for $200 or $500, that they need to ask. But when we have this, and parents also want their kids to be on their own, right? Like independent, and also we wanted to introduce this, and they guide actually. And in Google Pay, that is only a parent account, where the child's use the parent account, but the parents doesn't want that to happen. So we have the Fam Pay and Junio and all. But the challenges what they face is, when I spoke to them, like they say like there are a lot of failures, transaction failures, and there is some lack in the performance and all. And they don't introduce any investments and the tracking as such and all, because my niece and nephews, they use it. So a lot of challenges that they face. When we actually come up with this product, and we asked them, so they actually said yes. Most of them said yes, we say yes to it. And the parents, what they said was like, yes, of course, it should be like they should monitor, they should track their kids. And we also restrict to some sites, that not all kids can go and make some purchases in any site. It cannot be like that, but the approval should be taken from their parents. So even
Just to
parents,
add,
yeah.
just to
So
add,
how
like,
is your product
because,
solving
yeah,
for that problem exactly? Because
yeah,
I would
just
still
to
need to
add, like,
approve as a
see,
parent, right?
Google Pay and Paytm, they currently they do not have a teen parent linkage, right? And they also do not provide any, spending insights or deep insights, like where they have spent or approval things are not available on Google Pay and Paytm. So that's how we currently differentiate on MVP.
You should check out this thing called UPI Circle.
Yeah,
Okay.
but minor account cannot be linked with the Google Pay. So that is also there. They have their own
No, it is
account.
through the parent. It is
Yeah,
UPI
it is through
Yeah,
the
that's
through the
why
parent.
there
parent.
is,
Correct.
yeah, it is through the parents, but there are some challenges that what they wanted to share.
But isn't that how your product is also built? That it still,
Yeah,
or is it because
we
the
are not
parent
trying to
puts
be.
some money in it?
Mhm. We are not trying
Right.
to become another bank or wallet. It is
Mm.
solely based on integrations with the available wallets and banks like Amazon Pay or Phone Pay wallets and other banks. We are looking to tie up and integrate, and just not trying to
So,
another bank or
yeah.
wallet. Yeah.
So, Lena, here I like to put just one point. Right, I can share my personal experience. Like my son, in the start of the month, right, my wife gives him x thousand x thousand into his Google Pay, right. Given a week, it's gone. So he plays basketballs. He's part of a team and playing a league match. But then the expense is there. So what you rightly said is the Google Pay gives you that function flexibly. And if he's stuck somewhere, he'll call my wife. I need money. The transfer has happened, and that goes across. But then at a given point in time, there is no educative discussion happening, saying that you were given X and you're spending X plus something, right? So to have that educative collaboration and to build that kind of a connect between both the parents and the child, saying that okay, expense is default, you cannot do away with it, but a smart way of spending is a habit that you need to inculcate. So that is where Finfluence will make a difference. What we feel, and that is what is missing in today's monetary app. That whatever we spoke about. Does that make sense, Lina, or do you? Or
Yeah, to some extent. Like I understand
God
the
bless.
intent. So
God bless. So
yeah.
in the journey, we'll learn something more.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay, scores, jury. And the audience can go ahead and scan the QR code for this team.
Lena, you're going, or should I?
You go first. I'm still debating.
Yeah, I'm still thinking in my head. The idea is noble, but honestly, at the MVP that you have shown, it felt a little redundant to me, and that's why my score is a 2.
Ooh, it's a tie.
Same, I agree. That's why I was asking for your MVP or like what else, how would you make it different? So I think I agree. I'll also go with the 2. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we'll just do the audience poll.
So if I may, Lina and Satya, if I can ask, so what do you think would be an ideal MVP for us keeping this noble thought in mind? According to your experience, what would be your suggestion be?
One thing I would definitely factor in, and I think Sapta also spoke to
You're
this,
on
is-
mute, I think so.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry.
No, we could hear you, Lena. We could hear you.
Oh.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Is it only me?
Yeah.
Or?
You can hear me, right, Sapta?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can
Sorry.
hear you, Lina.
I think
Yeah, we can hear
it's my mistake.
Yeah, I'll just quickly wrap up. What I was saying was, Sapta also mentioned this, right? Like the educational aspect was missing. Like even that I think would sort of make your MVP a little more helpful than what's already existing out there. Like if my daughter was, I don't know, spending it on some random stuff and it taught her at that moment that, hey, like, do you really want to spend this? Maybe you could move this towards your put this aside or save it for something else. I don't know, like that's the real education moment, right? Like
Fair enough. But it's fair what you're saying.
like it's not about me approving and this transaction.
No, it's not.
going
I'm just trying to.
through
It's not about you and
so
me.
how do you
It's
make it different? That would be the only push.
That's the discussion that we are having. It's not about you and me or that points. It's one part, right? So that was there. But then when we talk about the MVP, it is time to market, right? So what it's in the market, which is already saturated with a lot of financial apps. Can I bring in an app which is easy to use, and which gives the visibility to both parents and the child that you can trust, right? He has the flexibility, he has the freedom, but at the same time you have a visibility that he is not going berserk, right? So so that was where we came across. See, we can do the whole world at one time, right? We can put a gaming also, but then my MVP will come 2 years down the line, and we're out of the market. So
but then
if
I think sorry,
so exactly. So the first thing is to put the foot on the door, right? That's the most important thing. So how do I put a foot in the door? It's always a perspective, right? I'm using A, I have B here. So how easy it is to use? How is the UI looking like? Is it appealing to me? Is it catching my attention? Is it giving me something more than what is giving today? So I feel that was what. See, I'm not asking for change of marks. That's not what I'm intended here, and it's not my concern. Right? We have 20 plus years of experience, so that's not fine. So I was trying to understand if an MVP comes. So how do we look at the MVP, right? Because it should be in a 3-month period. That's what we are looking at. So yeah.
Yeah, I think, and Sapta would love for you to chime in here. I think
Please,
the
yes.
adoption,
It's a collective.
yeah. I think I would just want to push your MVP because I feel adoption of this, of what you put out there, even if it's a first, version, adoption will be difficult because as a parent, I wouldn't see it very different from a FamPay or a UPI, like a GPay, which I use day in and day out. But where is it really educating my daughter? I think that would really make the difference. And
maybe a Shah Rukh Khan uses an ad, it will make a difference. So Sapta is with me. Okay. Yeah. The smile is always
that would be my push for an MVP. Like make it a little different from what's already out there. Yes, ease is important, but then UPI transactions, it's all commoditized now. It's table stakes, right? So what would make it more different?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking for an idea. So yes, sir.
Yeah, if I could just add, I'll tell you 2 things. One is around the MVP and the other one is around the solution itself, right? Let's get to the solution part. Just by letting, kids, of course, having a list of transaction, I have my doubts around whether that is enough to build a behavior. Okay. If it is not happening with adults, we all have, our transaction history, right?
Yes.
I don't mean say adults who are above 40, 50 or something, adults 25 years old, 30 years old. they aren't all that disciplined, even though they have access to all of them. So how can we expect some teenagers to be, right? So I have my doubts on the approach itself. That's why I said that, I was really curious to know how are you, how are you driving the behavior of savings, which I didn't quite see. So that's around the solution itself. Now coming to MVP, see, I'll first of all, I respect your experience, sir. But
No,
from
please.
whatever,
No, sir,
Sir.
we are discussing.
Right, of course.
As my father says, the child is the father of the man, right? So we learn a lot from the younger generation.
That's so nice of you. So what I feel is an MVP of a motor car cannot be a bicycle,
Agreed.
right? So MVP of a motor car has to be a motor car, and it needs to do justice to the fact that it's a motor car. So that's something you'll have to keep in mind. Right now, it felt, if I were to again talk in metaphors, that the motor car was probably being represented as a bicycle. So that's, I think, what Lina and I both are trying to talk about. And, in the startup world, there is this concept called Delta 4. I'm not sure if you've heard. So if there is something already in the market, whatever, payment app, a mobile phone or something, it is not enough that a new one comes and says, we are slightly better than it. The new one has to be 4 notches above the what is existing. Only then people will take the pain of overcoming the friction and adopting the new one.
Yeah.
Right. So I just want to leave you with these two things.
Yes. No, it's very invaluable. So very valuable. Sorry. I can use it in my IPL journey to see if they're taking me to that 4 notch in the next presentation. So yeah.
I'm sure this is very insightful for everybody here when you have, the industry experts and I think getting their point of view. But in the interest of time, I would, and before we announce the winner for the Skillathon, I request the jury members to accept our certificate on behalf of IPL. We would like to hear your experience on today's Skillathon too. Lina, please accept our certificate of appreciation on behalf of IPL.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Thank you once again. And I'd really like to know your experience on the Skillathon and what would you feel as a collective for everybody, I think.
Yeah, so actually before we started, I asked the question, how much time was given to all the participants to submit their entries? And I think you shared it was like 10 minutes. So was it 10 minutes exactly to come up with all this or?
No. Okay, I thought how much time was the presentation? So my bad. I think
no, like collectively, like to think about all of this.
Okay, right. So I generally what happens in the Skillathon is that they have a capstone, which is at the end of every course.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yes, and then it is the top scorers from the capstone that present this. So I think they've had about so the same presentation is then tweaked based on what the capstone was, and then they present here. So I think they've had about 2 to 3 weeks, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. So great problems. Some of them were really interesting problems. And these are like known everyday problems that, some companies, like larger companies, are still trying to solve. So like for taking a stab at it, kudos. I think what you all must have noticed, even like with both Sapta and me, even though we are like designers, product designers, we actually focus more on the problem. And you found us asking more questions around the problem, and like, did you all really empathize with the users? Did you really understand the pain points? It's less and less about the actual process. It's less about the fact that you did wireframes and you have high fidelity this thing, but it's really like I think we were sort of, at least I was evaluating on like the understanding the problem and what did you really look to solve for, and does the solution that you're pushing for as an MVP, does it really make sense? Versus just the design aspect, which is like up until now just been like the presentation layer, for lack of a better word. So yeah, I hope y'all took away some learnings from that itself.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for that. Really appreciate that insight, and I'm sure the learners definitely take that forward with the next Skillathon when they get the chance. Saptar, thank you very much for joining us today, and please accept our certificate in behalf of IPL. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting. I think it was great to be here. Sorry, did I cut you off? You were saying something.
No, not at all. I would like to. I wanted to get your experience on the Skillathon as well.
I think it was great being here. Thanks for choosing to spend Saturday evening with us. Really appreciate that, and I was happy to see all the work that you had done. Like the key takeaways for me have been all the problem statements that you have picked are like really good. And what Lena had said that you barely got 2 weeks to work on it, and for the kind of folks you are, the kind of drive you have, that even though you're professionals, you have taken up the course to get yourself better. So with that mindset, I'm pretty sure if you spend more time on it, you will do wonders. So that's what I think my observation is. This competition, or it's just a game. Let's consider it as a game. It truly depends on what you do beyond this, and I'm really hopeful towards it. And what Lena was saying, the moment you said it, it occurred to me as well. Design is changing. It is not just about the processes and the personas and all. Honestly, if you ask me, where does design lie? Where does it start? Where does it stop? I wouldn't have a good enough answer, because as a designer, as a design leader, I'm expected to be a part of each and everything, starting from business, tech, product, everything. So you all are builders. So yeah, that's the mindset we all need to build and inculcate. That's all I'll say, folks. All the best.
Thank you very much once again for being here with us today, and that too on a Saturday evening. I'm sure it's going to get busy after this now for you guys. So before we will now announce the Skillathon winner, the Skillathon winner gets 1,000 rupee certificate. Most importantly, the slides will go live on the Skills Lab portfolio as one of the best product design capstone project. So now to declare the Skillathon winner, I guess there are no guesses here, so we'll just go ahead. And the winner is Team 3, Vasudevan, Dheeraj, Sharayu, and I'm sorry, Shravya. Congratulations, team, for having won the Skillathon.
Thank you
very much,
Thank you so
Lena
much.
and Saptar, for being here with us today, and for everybody who joined us here today, the audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Next time, have a lovely evening and a good week.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, folks. We're off. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey,